First of all, Darrell, Merry Christmas to you and the players. Do you get to enjoy Christmas at all, or is it business as usual?
I'll let you know after the result Boxing Day. That's what all that matters to me, to be honest with you. So no, it's a busy time of the year for us. 3 games in a short space of time. Plenty of points on offer, so we want as many as we can.
Yeah, those 9 points, it can make a lot of difference, couldn't it?
It can, and like I say, after the Coventry game, we're exactly halfway through the season. And whatever happens, we're going to be on 30 plus points after the halfway mark, which I think overall, if you'd have said to me at the start of the season we'd be there, be quite happy with that. I think when you've had a dip in the playoffs like we have for 4 or 5 weeks, obviously expectation levels rise, rightly so. But obviously the dip we've had over the last 5-6 weeks has been disappointing, but it's about regathering our form and kicking on.
Yeah, how do you assess the season long term? It has been a good season so far, or are you looking short term and that's been a dip?
Anybody that thinks it hasn't been a great season so far, it's been a great year, hasn't it? Another promotion, 30 points in League One, mid-table in League One, and near enough the halfway point. For me, Chelsea away in the cup, it's been a great year, and we want to finish it on high. We've got two home games coming up now, Coventry and Wimbledon. We're in the top 5 out of 92 league clubs on the home record in the league in 2016. That's how well we've done this year, and we're going to make sure that my players are determined to finish their home campaign in 2016 on a high.
How have you reacted to last week's performance against
A
Shrewsbury?
lot's been said. Listen, the players know where I stand with it. It wasn't an acceptable performance. It wasn't more of anger, to be honest with you. But what I will say is for the last 2.5 years, I've very rarely had to do what I've had to do over the last on Saturday and over the last few days coming towards it. So the players are a great group. They took this club a long way, and I'm sure they'll look to bounce back with a positive performance come Boxing Day.
Yeah. Reported this week you've had 1,000 days now in charge of Bristol Rovers. Does it feel like 1,000 days?
1,000 years? 1,000 years, yeah. I've certainly aged a little bit, but it's in 1,000 days, 2 promotions. Getting ourselves competing in the top half of League One. It's been an unbelievable spell for me, and I must say I've thoroughly enjoyed it. More determined than ever to keep piling it forward, keep moving the club forward, myself and the owners. So if I last another 1,000 days, I'll be delighted, man.
Are you 1,000 times a better manager than you were when you took over from Bristol Rovers?
Yeah. Listen, I thoroughly enjoyed management. I put a lot of pressure on myself, put a lot of high demands on my players. That's how I manage. And for me, some managers go through the whole career without winning a promotion. I'm fortunate enough to have had 4 in 5 full seasons, and it's certainly been great. And the highs are very high, and you enjoy the highs, but the lows are very, very low as well. But I love management. I love working, especially with this group of players that I've got. That 9 times out of 10 they give everything, and not only that, they're good people as well. But there'll be no let up, and I've said it before, is in there'll be no sentiment in trying to move it forward and move it, keeping trying to fight at the right end of the table.
I agree with you. When you get annoyed, like, short, you win a game and suddenly we're talking playoffs. So in 1,000 days' time, where will Bristol Rovers be, hopefully?
It'll be interesting, won't it? We'll see. I mean, what I will say is it's very, very important for me that the club has the right infrastructure. That hasn't changed. We go to Shrewsbury, own their own training ground, own their own stadium. A nice stadium. Fleetwood, 7 million on a new training ground base. And we've got to catch up with clubs. We might be a very well supported team, which we've always been. Our supporters are fantastic, but we're miles behind. I believe a lot of clubs in League One now on the infrastructure on the training ground and the stadium, and that's, I'm hoping in 1,000 days' time that we have both. And I'm sure many fans are hoping that's the case as well, because to go and build it and move it forward, you need to have those things in place.
We talked a lot in the build-up to September, October, November, December, when you weren't able to bring any players into the club. Now it's happened. How has that new transfer policy been for you?
Well, for me, I've sort of just got on with it. We found ourselves, started the season really well, having a bit of a dip in certain performances over the last 5-6 weeks. But there's always that opportunity in January to change 1 or 2 things about. You don't need to be massive wholesale changes, because that becomes a bit of a panic and not the right time. But there does need to be a few changes in and out. That's football. You know, I know in my heart of hearts now who's going to be able to keep moving us forward and who quite won't do that. And it's up to them, the players that do stay and do move it forward, that they keep moving it right way.
Because of what's happened, where not just you, but lots of clubs have not been able to do any business, do you expect lots of early business in January, or do we have to be patient?
Listen, you always like to get your business done early, but what we'll say is a lot of teams don't want to get rid of the best players, because the better players are playing in the teams. So we've got our targets, that the areas of the pitch where I think we desperately need to strengthen. And you try and get that business done as early as possible, but it's sometimes not as easy as that at times.
Yeah, and understandably, will you be expecting bids for your better players?
Who knows? You know, we certainly don't really need to be losing our best players. That's for sure. We need to keep things together and add a few in and a few out. I think the squad's, it's a biggish squad. It's not an expensive squad, but it's a biggish squad. And we need to trim it and get a couple of quality players in, and that'll be key in the key movements in January for us.
I watched the Sheffield United game, funny enough, and they didn't look for periods like a team who had lost 5.
Oh, listen, you've got to look at the league and what it's about. Every game's a difficult game. It doesn't matter where you position in the league. They're all tough games and can beat you on the day. Coventry's another team that can do that. Plenty of energy, plenty of youthfulness about the team, albeit on a bad run. I'm sure the manager will come in and give them a lift. But for me, it's about how we respond after the poor performance against Shrewsbury. It's about our performance. There's never no guarantee of 3 points, but I'm hoping the boys can guarantee me a lot better performance than we did in the last game.
And I'll finish with a quirky question. If Radio Bristol broadcasts a alternative Christmas message on Christmas Day morning, and Darrell Clarke gets the airwaves, what's his message to the Rovers fans?
Merry Christmas, thanks for all your support. Been fantastic 2016 for ourselves. Get behind the boys in the next 2 home games, and we'll look to start the new year with a bang.